Good morning. In this session, I'm going to discuss in detail about Cognito.
So before we move into the Cognito, we'll see what is federated identities. So for example, if you want to access any kind of AWS services like S3, DynamoDB or Lambda function, so there is an option to use IAM roles. The another opportunity is that to use the Cognito. In the Cognito, we have two different type of pools. Then is one is user pool, another one is identity pools. So for example, suppose if you are trying to access some websites like some Geeks for Greeks or Java Web Point, so it will ask you to identify your identity before accessing that websites. What is the meaning of the same? So which mean that if you are authorized person, then only you can able to access those website. There are two ways you can able to validate your identity. One is either you can sign up in their account, otherwise you can do the validation by using some third party providers like Gmail, Facebook, GitHub, etc. So in our application, the Cognito, which provides their own facility to provide and verify a user identity. There are two things, the two important things in your Cognito. One is user pool, another one is identity pools. User pools which completely deals about all user related data, that is it deals about sign up and sign in functionality. In case of identity pool, which is purely talked about the AWS service level. Service level means, for example, if I want to access one AWS service like S3 or DynamoDB, I should be authenticated. That is, before accessing the resources, I should get some temporary credentials. So now we'll see how the Cognito works now. For example, a person is trying to access the service called S3. Before accessing that service, the person has to give the request to the user pool as a login request. The user pool will forward the request to the third party providers like Facebook or Google. The third party provider, they are providing the JSON web token again back to the user. Now the user should request the identity pool by exchanging the token request. Finally, identity pool will provide a temporary credentials to the user. With that temporary credential, now that person can able to access the S3. So this is how the Cognito works. So now we'll see a small demonstration of user pool. For doing this, you can move into your AWS management console and take the service called Cognito. Take the service called Cognito. Okay, so now you can create a new user pool, and it itself asking for the Cognito user pool sign in option. For example, if I have selected only the email as the sign in option, then you have to provide email address as well as the password, mandatory password. If I have selected the first username as well as the email, it will ask you to give the username followed by email, then the password. First select the Cognito option, the sign in option as username and the email, and click on this next. And the password policy you can change. By default, the policy is the password should contain a number, one special character, one uppercase and one lowercase letter. If you want to change it as completely a number or completely a special character, you can choose this custom and you can change this configuration. The multi-factor authentication, if it is required for your application main, you can give multi-factor authentication. Otherwise, it's not required. For our case, it's not required, so I'm selecting the third option as no MFA. Remaining settings you can accept as such and click on this next and come down and see the next. This also not required. simply you can click next. And the fourth step also, in the fourth step you have to select the second option, because send email with the Cognito. Why? Because for the account verification, the Cognito will send a 4-digit or 6-digit number to your email, so that to be verified, so that you can able to access your application. So in our exercise, what you are doing is, for example, KL University is the website. If I want to access that website, definitely I should be authenticated. Without authentication, I should not able to access the website. So that is our ultimate aim. This Cognito, which will provide a user identity verification. Click on the next. Now only the fifth step is very important. Here you have to give the pool name. The pool name is, I just make it as user1, and click on this use the Cognito hosted UI. Once you have clicked that Cognito hosted UI, you can able to find a Cognito domain name. You can give some domain name, so that should be globally unique one. I just make it as now you can see I have given the Cognito domain name as test123.321. Now actually it is available. You can proceed with that, and give the app client name. Please give the app client name. Just keep it the client name as client 1, and the callback URL. This is must. Why? Because after successful login, in which URL you should navigate. So what I am doing, I just take the KL University as the website. So take this complete URL of it. Take this complete URL, paste under this URL. So that's it. Okay, and one more important thing is that under this advanced app client settings, you need to enable one more option, that is, so come down and see. I'll tell you what is this tokens. Actually, after successful login, in the URL itself you can able to see there is a token. That token expiration time is 60 minutes. The token expiration is that 60 minutes. You can able to refer the token expiration days also. And here the important thing is that identity providers. Click on this identity providers as the Cognito user pool, and OAuth 2.0 grant type to be selected as implicit grant. So because why we are selecting this implicit grant means, if I want to access some web pages through the session token, that to be checked. Otherwise you cannot able to do that operation, implicit grant. That's it. We have completed all other configuration. You can click on next, review all the configuration, and finally you can create a user pool. So now user pool is ready. Just to click on this user pool. There is no users. The user list is now 0, which means that no user is currently accessed the website KL University. So that is the meaning. So you can have any kind of application. So that application what I have taken is the KL University website. If somebody want to access this KL University website, they should give their credential to validate their identity. So now what I am doing, just to go to this app integration and see something called a domain name, and the client ID is there. Client ID. These two things are important. So you can see this URL given. So in the URL, so there is they have mentioned the star which indicate the DNS, followed by the response type as a token or a code. You have to include the client ID also, as well as the redirected URI. So that I have given as a kluniversity.in website. So these star to be replaced. The first star to be replaced with the domain name. Just to take this domain name and replace this star, and the second star which indicates is the client ID. Take the client ID which is available at the last, copy the client ID and replace it. Now take this URL completely, take a new tab and enter. So it is asking you to sign in. So which means that So what is the meaning of this URL means? If I try to access the KL University website, I should be authenticated. Now there is no authentication is given. So before sign in, you have to sign up. Do a sign up. So you have to give the username. I can give my name as example, and the email address should be your personal or your official mail, whatever it may be, it's fine. The password should match the constraint. So you have to give the password, it should match the constraint. Now all are satisfied, and give sign up. So what happened, it is asking for a code. You have to verify the code and go to your email ID, and this code is 6-digit code is sent by the Cognito. Take this code and verify. So this is for your email ID verification. That's it. Now you can confirm the account. After the confirm account, you can see I can able to access my KL University website. This application now I can able to access. Once you have completed, you can go and check your users. Go and check your users and refresh and see one user. My name, I am Sridhar. My email address is AWS.Srithar@gmail.com, and the email is verified and confirmation is status as confirmed. So which means that this website can be accessible only by this person. So if it is not confirmed, then you cannot able to access. Once I close, and if I have taken the same again, I'll try to take it again and enter, and see it is asking that whether you want to enter as a new user or a old user. If I try to access the different user, if I try to log in with some other name, you can give any password and try to sign in, it won't accept. So because it is showing that username and password is not valid, because you are not authenticated to access the website. So that's it, we have achieved our agenda. So that is we have completed the user pool and the identity pool. Thank you.